the Lord. So I'm not going to preach, even though I'm a lay preacher. I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to, I may be making reference maybe to the Bible, whatever it is, but I'm not going to preach. Look left and look right. Observe who is close by you. You know, this is a very simple exercise. If I hadn't done that and we had gone out and I had asked any one of you, who was sitting by your right? What shirt? What dress? I bet you I'll get only about 10% of people who will be accurate because we are not security conscious. I'll speak briefly and I would like it to be interactive, so you rather ask questions. I was asked some few years back to be in a church like this to talk also about international relations, international insecurity, and what is happening, terrorism. And when I was asked to sit up there, I pleaded with the head pastor, please, can I sit among the people? And I went with my little daughter then. So I sat among the people, because when I was entering, I saw some young guys whose demeanor suggested to me that something was amiss. So I followed them around and sat close by them. It was a huge church. And as praises and worship were going on, they mingled with the people, danced, and came and sat down. But when people entered into solemn prayer, and you know, that is the time everything is for God, and then we leave ourselves. So I was watching them very, very carefully. When everybody was that very solemn, my daughter was even nudging me and saying, Daddy, why aren't you closing your eyes? Obviously, because of where my specialization, I'm telling you honestly, I don't close my eyes when I'm praying to God. I want to talk to God directly because I don't trust anybody around. And lo and behold, I got this guy picking two phones, and I held him by the waist. Jammy, and then as if the prayer went dead. It's like everybody was looking at us. He was really struggling to get off of me. And we got him. We asked the police to take him off. Then people started asking me, who are you and why? And then when I was introduced, then they got to know who I was. And jokingly, I told them, I'm a man of God, and I can see. And you know, Ghana, you believe in that. You believe in that. They felt the Holy Spirit came to me, and I saw that somebody was going to steal. No. It is just being honest and aware. I'd like to thank the superintendent pastor, who seems to know me already. I didn't know that. And the session and the congregation for inviting me. Brethren in the Lord, security is very important, but we take it for granted. If it were not, then in the Old Testament or in the Bible, you would realize that most of the cities we talk about had walls around them. Thick walls. Security. You make it impregnable. And we also pray so that God makes a wall around us for our security. That shows to you that security is very important. I'm going to go through this. We'll take one lesson, just one lesson. Then we talk about the type, talk about what is happening now. And right, I'm a teacher and always a teacher. Two rules on security. One, rule number one. You can put it down or put it in your head. Rule number one is number one. Say after me. Rule number one is number one. Rule number two. Dead men don't talk. Say it. Rule number two. Dead men don't talk. Rule number one, I'm explaining now. You are number one on this earth. Everything else does not exist when you don't exist. So you have to live in order to know the world around you. which means your personal security is paramount. You are number one on this earth. Your father, everybody else is secondary to you. If you are not alive, your father is not alive. So you got to do everything to survive. So rule number one means survival. Survival. Everything. You don't have to fall sick. So it means when you know this rule, then everything to make you survive the world, you will do it. Health, food, whatever. You understand? So rule number one is number one in security. Rule number two, dead men don't talk. Don't be foolish. If you die, you are dead. You don't talk. Don't be stupid. So when it means that you even have to kill in order to survive, you got to do it. Sorry, Papa, but that is it. That's a rule. No, come on, somebody is having a knife on your neck and you say, oh God, forgive him. I'm not Jesus Christ. In your life because he's rule number one. Take it. Even in the Christian faith, God orders people to war, isn't it? Because that nation of Israel must survive. So these rules, please don't joke with them. Do not joke with them. But if it means you have to surrender in order to survive, armed robbers have a right. Survive. Live. Give everything to them and let them go. And live. Survival. Are we there? But when you have the chance, don't hesitate. I've wired my house. Thick wiring. Ghana is 220 volts, right? There is if in the night you foolishly enter my house and touch the wire, you won't survive. Dead men don't talk. Beyond the wire, I have cameras, 16 of them, which I'm going to advise the church to have internal and external cameras. I have cameras. So, and I have put it on this. So in 2014, I was in Canada. And I called my wife and I said, the outside gate is open. Why? She even didn't know until that call. It is possible. It's not expensive. And I'm able to know what is happening in my house just from here. Beyond that, I have a pump action. And I've learned how to shoot. And that is lying where the children don't know. I only sleep on it. Finally, or not finally, I have a small. It doesn't mean I am completely secure. No. Beyond this, I put my eyes out very well. So that is just that lesson I want to give. Then, there is what we call personal security, community security, national security, and international security. Your personal security is linked up to your community security. Your community security is linked up with your national security. Your national security is linked up with your international security. So Ghana, we've got the military, we've got the police, which keep our security against external action, external reaction, and internal actions. So we have that national security to protect us. And your personal security, there are many. In fact, personal security alone, I can teach it in the whole semester. Things you have to do, things you don't have to do. Your health. I mean, there are people who just buy drugs from the drugstore just to take. You are disobeying your personal security. Just go there and buy tramadol because you heard it does this. Just go there and buy paracetamol. People don't check their level of, they don't check their MPS level, that is malaria level. And they just go in to buy Lonart or whatever. And then they suppress it for a while. Meanwhile, the doctors will tell you what happens when you don't check and you are taking the drug. At a point, the drug doesn't work anymore. People go in to buy antibiotics and just take them. You are creating problems for your own personal security, health-wise. I've told you about my personal security in my house. So in your house, your personal security, job security, all those securities that will make you rule number one. That's personal. Community security. I've done that in my house, but I'm not selfish. We have formed a community watchdog in my area. I led them, and we send messages. You know, I have a lot of things I receive. Those ones which can be sent, I send them. Somebody is kidnapped this way, somebody is done, the things that are, so my community members, just immediate community, they know. So community, this thing is also, and we are advising government upon government, we have been advising. Let us have community policing. But most governments are interested in going to Korea to go and bring plenty of money. If you're a government member, don't get annoyed. Me, I'm a teacher, I say it freely. STX, KKY, and bring plenty of money, and you build barracks. We are going to build some barracks near Pram Pram. To house, is it 5,000, 10,000 police, I've forgotten. And then you take buses to bus them to Accra and Tema. When they close, then they go. No. We in security, we don't believe in that. Elsewhere, the policeman is your next door neighbor. In the community. He knows his children plays football with so they know the bad boys. They know the good ones. We have been talking about community policing all along. Please add your voice. We need community policing instead of barracks policing. Something happens, you call them on their 191, whatever it is. 1 million people are calling at the same time, and they are bored. You call them at times, they tell you they don't have even a vehicle. But if they are within the community, they know how to connect to whom. So within a small community, you have our 10 policemen living there. They are part of the community, and they will help to keep the community. National security. Today, national security is being revised in a new paradigm called human security. That is to say, you satisfy the people with all the personal security they need. Food security, job security, economic security, physical security, and political security. When everybody is satisfied in the society, you don't have miscreants, you don't have armed robbers. So beside your borders that you are securing with the military, have what we call human security. Finally, international security. That place is, and that is what is creating most problems. And America says, yeah, that's the one we recognize. And so as for the international scene, the bullies are bullying us too much. Bullying has created a problem for the world in such a way that many countries are reeling under bombs. Yemen, because of international insecurity. Now take this lesson again. When you talk of security, give your security. He gives you a place to live that we call ecology, the earth where they put Ghanaians. The ecology of Ghana, the flora and fauna, the earth, what type of things in the earth over there is the ecology that gives you your security. You go to Zimbabwe, the old Zimbabwe, it's rocky area. So everything they do is with rocks. In fact, chains and whatnot, they beat the rocks naturally by God. He put us here. He's put some people on the desert. So whatever they will do on the desert constitute their security. So what God has given you is what you should try and build your security around, ecology. Your ecology gives you your economy. It is the type of where you are that you can build an economy. You can farm, you can trade, you can, Your economy gives you your politics. So the type of politics you play, and I'm going to dwell on that 2 seconds. Look at Ghana, our politics. Everything must be measured in terms of NDC, NPP. Very soon, the air we breathe will be divided into, if your nose goes to NDC, you don't like it. Because ab initio, even the way we elect our officers, through insecurity. If vigilantes put you in power, what do you expect? The government becomes beholden to the vigilantes. And watch it. Our research showed that there are about 21 vigilante groups in Ghana today, shared especially between the two parties. One has more. I won't mention it. They know themselves. And if they are the ones who put you in power, what kind of security are you talking about? So a president, all the presidents, from time, except Rawlings time, the president nominates somebody to be district chief executive. And some people get up to go and brace the office of the DCE or any appointment. So ab initio, our political system, which God gave us through our ecology and economy, creates conditions for insecurity. Our political system. Let's talk about it. Let's talk it freely. If there are journalists over here, let them report me correctly. Because I've been misquoted 1 billion times. And look, what I will say to President Akufo-Addo is a very close personal friend of mine, is what I can tell you here, free, because I'm a teacher and a researcher. Once upon a time, towards the 2012 elections, the country was basa. And after a church thing like this, somebody, I didn't know he was even a journalist. What if the voting things happen like Ivory Coast? I said, oh, I don't think Ghana, it will happen like that. I don't think so. Ghana, Ihura, Nacho. No, but the way things are going, I said, you know what? Our constitution enjoins the Ghana Armed Forces to step in and bring law and order. To step in at any time when the police are overwhelmed. And I teach a course at GAFC, where conflict and crisis management. We have scenarios where the police come in, they are overwhelmed, they call in the military. Papa has gone through that process before. So, and that's all we ended. I said, no, ours, the military, they won't take sides. They will have to come in and step in. Following day, Ghana Army to take over if Antwi-Danso. See, when they finish GSS or SHS, there are several radio stations, FM stations, and they couldn't go to the university, then they become journalists. This boy doesn't know the difference between step in and take over. Simple thing my daughter at that time would have been able to discern. Step in, take over. Take over means you have taken over government. I said they should step in. And so that following day, it's like almost every radio station was calling me. I've caused some whatever in Ghana. And that is insecurity. So media gives us some terrorism, which is media also insecurity. Then the fourth one is all these things give you your culture. What kind of cultural values do you put in? And it gives you build a history through these 5 points. So that's where we have done up to this point. Now, what is happening? What is happening is that the world is basa. Complete chaos throughout the world. It's not in Ghana alone. Now, the rise in terrorism has created a condition for terrorism. It has moved from the Middle East. Because once the Americans and the French and everybody is in the middle, across the northern side of Ghana, Burkina Faso, all the way to the east where Al-Shabaab operates. And this has brought about a kind of miscreants also trying to work. No, when you're fighting, everything is a tool, everything is an obstacle. Everything is a tool. Destroyed. So I'll cross a bridge as I'm fighting. I'll cross a bridge. As soon as I cross the bridge, I destroy the bridge. So it is that any tool, so the miscreants are using religion as a weapon. Not that religion, Islam, is a bad religion for chaos. No. They have found out that it is the religion which is easier to exploit. You understand? Because a lot of Christians were fighting in ISIS. 12 Canadians who were arrested there, in fact, some of them died. They are from Christian homes. And they are mercenaries. They just want to go and fight. So let us not think that Islam is against Christianity. But once you set something on trail, you can't control it. There was a time we were in school. We started some destruction of cars and whatnot. But by the time we reached town, why? Because I was... So when you set something in motion, so once terrorism has set itself in motion, then people who hate Christianity, maybe they didn't bomb, God forbid, this church, but they want to claim that, oh, hooray, we've done it. And it is because we are not aware of what is happening. So what is to be done? Churches must start having CCTV cameras. Churches must start inducting their people with a sense of security. With a sense of security. Churches must start training their own guards. Papa should let you know, because his profession is such that as a police officer, you don't stop everybody. But all of a sudden, something tells you, this guy, there's something wrong. You understand? So try and get your ushers and other people to be smart with the eyes, smart with the ears, and whatnot. And finally, the church should continue to have such sessions. It's not always the praises lessons. They are very, very important, extremely important, not only on security. Security is broad, as I showed you. So why don't you bring somebody like a banker also to tell you about, because right now with artificial intelligence, I can just sweep everything from your bank. In fact, I have something on my phone which I have sent around for my community. What some people can do today. What people can do today. And you have been receiving this Sakawa boys sending you messages. Someone sent one to Kanalabuaji that he has sent 500 and by mistake. And Kanalabuaji, no, it came. It did. It did. We called back to the phone. The person didn't pick. Then another number rather called us. You know, the first number that he used, that's what, I've heard this thing 1 million times. The money comes. What you have to do is, as soon as you got that thing, tell the person to call MTN to take the money away from you. And lo and behold, we called MTN. When we called MTN, they checked how much Kanabachi had on his. To you, on issues of Sakawa, on issues of, all boiled down to security. I think I'll end here and give thanks to the Lord that I've been here to talk to you about this. If there are a few questions, because our time is almost up, if there are any things that, and I said this thing we teach a whole semester. So within 15 minutes, I will not be able to let you know everything. Thank you so much, and thanks, please pray to the Lord. Yes? I know I've scared you a lot, yes. Yes. About the church?
Like you went to a church as a gathering, you caught two guys picking the phone and you raised up.
Yes, yes.
98, I was in Kumasi. I won't mention the church, Methodist. So we're having a harvest.
But you have mentioned the church anyway.
No, I'm saying Methodist church, but that society.
Anyway.
Yeah. So the distance were outside. Mm-hmm. So they just walk in. I didn't close my eyes. Mm-hmm. Like you were saying. Let's say 20 million. Old cities. In those in 98, it was a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just grabbed them and then we send them to Tech Police Station.
Congratulations.
Supposing I had closed my eyes.
Yes.
All church money had.
Congratulations. Let's be snappy so that we can get many more people to.
The police guard in front of every church.
To have what? And break through your security measures. So first and foremost, you can have police guarding. Yes, you can always bring the police and pay them. You can't have the army. No. Unless it is a very serious thing. You can always have the police. But then that is not enough. More consciousness is important. There is my young lady. Yes. Okay.
Please, how can an average person know whether this is a grenade or an improvised, something to activate itself?
Good. You need some little training what a grenade is. And it's a very important question. I chose pencils and those things. Children are fascinated about this. Please teach your children, and that's what I do in the house, not to pick things they don't know about. I'm just like, they didn't put them there. Teach your children. That are untoward. For example, these cars are parked. All of a sudden, you see something sitting near one of the cars. Obviously, you must draw attention to it. But unfortunately, within ourselves here in Ghana, we are not security conscious at all. Joy FM did a survey, a kind of trick. They went to the Accra Mall, put a shiny thing where there were plenty of people, and the thing was making all the kinds of... And nobody drew attention. They were admiring the thing rather. After 30 minutes, they asked the people whether they were not afraid. They said, maybe a mall for no. That kind of thing. So that consciousness is very important. You come to this compound always. You know how these things are set. All of a sudden, you see something, wedged in between the instruments over here. Ask yourself questions when you see anything untoward. So, but not all. But simple things, which is now common. Very common. He even parted a young, attacked the person, but, hello, may I know who you are? How are you? Are you coming to our church for the first time? Whilst we're engaging he panics. What they hate is being noticed. So he will, if somebody had done that, he would have panicked and left to prepare for another time. So engage somebody. I come to this church and Ghana, we play the big man. We do. Somebody comes, sir, you don't know who the person is. Engage the person and see.
In this church, we actually got someone on camera. I think it's because we were videoing.
Yeah.
With their hand in the till. That thing was on camera. There was a debate in this church as to whether to make this public, to put that person's face for all of us to see. I don't know whether it was put on or not. But the debate signifies something that is also against our security in this country.
Okay.
We are very refined.
That's right.
We are very polite. We don't want to be the one who says the wrong things. And it hurts our security.
Yes.
If anything is happening, if anything happens to me, if I put my hand into the till here and steal money, they will say, no, she's so-and-so. And she's so-and-so's daughter. And she's so-and-so's uncle. And this she's so-and-so is part of
Mama,
the insecurity that we have in this country.
I
Talk about that. Thank you.
I really understand it. You are very right. You're very right about our nature, kind of. And that kind of thing. I don't believe in that. Those of you who know me when I was the dean of students at the University of Ghana, that was the time I dismissed a lot. My first year as dean, 320 students went home. 320. They came through the back door. At that moment, I said, Okwajo, I said, no. I got a hint that some people who didn't have, that time we did things manually. You bring a photocopy of your transcript, and that's what we used. And we will sit down one by one, because that is what we type in. Some people even went up there. We took them February. I went to the West African Exams Council. Get me your CD-ROM. We paid 50 million for it. That's 5,000 today. And we checked student after. When I got them in numbers, some of even my own relatives, some good friends whose children are there on the FFs would come. Oh, Kwajo, I said, there be. Eda nyameka say, ye mo nipa ye nseso so no ye dwada. Hallelujah. So I will not. And that's what happened. Following year, I still had about 120. I said, I'll publish. If you watch out those days, we published the names, the pictures, and the schools they attended. Then it stopped. The next thing I did was that let's go into artificial intelligence. So what we did was, from then on, my third year in the office, straight from the West African Exams Council. Straight. When we type your name, what you got is what we have. And that thing has stopped in Legon now. So me, name and shame, I'm number one. I don't want to talk about your church. You may have rules, regulations, because if you don't name and shame properly, the insecurity that may follow also. So insecurity, we add a little tact of diplomacy to see what it will serve. And please, that's what I will advise. I don't want to talk, but the church elders must sit down and see what will bring security to the church. If it means not highlighting it and get a bigger result, I will do that. But when it means hanging the person, I told you, dead men don't talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc, for the session. I would wish we could have spent some more time, but we must close. So, liturgies will continue.
We now present our offering. That's what we call the singing ministry to lead us talent. Lead us in the offering.